Hello, Unlimited friends. It's Zara back again. And today I have a question from Leslie. Leslie wrote to me because she would like to understand the inactive box process that Abraham has been talking about more recently. She would like to understand the process and how to use it. So that's what our video today is all about. And before I get into it, let me do a short introduction. Thank you for everyone who is returning to my channel, and thank you to those of you who are new. Hello, I'm ZMAHOON. I write the blog ZMAHOON.com, and I'm the author of 12 books on the subject of the law of attraction. If you're interested in working with me, I'm going to say grab the Unlimited 40-Day Law of Attraction workbook to accelerate manifestation on Amazon, and come and join me on Facebook, where I teach this program every day. We finish one 40-day cycle and we start another one. All right, so this channel is dedicated to your questions. If you have a question about the application of law of attraction to your life, send it to me through my website ZMAHOON.com or leave me a comment and I will pick it up. All right, let's get into it. Inactive box. So first of all, I'm going to talk about how Esther is using this process. And then I'm going to explain to you what is a thought that needs to be deactivated and how to do it. All right, let's get started. So Abraham started telling us about something that Esther started practicing. And you know, all the processes that Abraham teaches us are processes that at some point in time, Esther has utilized them in order to improve some aspect of her own life. So Esther took a big banker's box. They are cardboard boxes that have slits for handles on both sides. And Esther uses a lot of these because way back when, a couple of years ago, many years ago, Abraham talked about the clearing clutter process, in which Esther used banker's boxes. That's what they're called. They're cardboard boxes. They're sturdy and they're all the same size. You can pile them up one over the other. I use them as well for storing papers, tax papers, things that I want to keep. I use them as well. They are really easy to use because you can label them and you can stack them up. So Abraham started talking about that just in the same way that Esther used banker's boxes to clear the clutter in her home, that we can also use the banker's boxes to clear the clutter in our heads. What is the clutter in our heads? The clutter in our heads consists of thoughts that are slowing our progress towards the things that we want. So with this inactive box process, what Esther has been doing is that she takes a cue card. So if you don't know what a cue card is, let me show you mine. So these are cue cards, and I just write down things, important things, and I keep them on these cards. So she writes down on a cue card a thought that she thinks is not beneficial for her. And then through one of the slits in that inactive box, she throws it into the box. It's like a ballot box really could do the same thing. If you have a ballot box and you put that little note in it, the purpose is that when she puts that note in there, she tells herself that this thought is now deactivated. I am putting it in this banker's box because I am not going to think this thought again. I am going to, in other words, stay off the subject. And if this thought comes again, I am not going to think about it. I have put it into the inactive box. Therefore, it has been deactivated and it is no longer affecting me in any way. So it's literally like taking a broom and cleaning up taking the debris out of your house and throwing it away. You are never going to walk on that debris again because it is literally gone from your home. So these thoughts have to be gone from your head. If you still have these thoughts in your head, then they're not really gone and they are impacting you. In the end, what does the inactive box process do for us? It helps us to clear our self-talk. It helps us to become mindful because it forces us, when we say that we are going to deactivate thoughts that are not conducive to our goals, it makes us mindful. We now have to pay attention to what are the thoughts that we are thinking. And so when we think a thought that we know is not helpful to the goals that we have and the things that we want to achieve, we write it down on a little cue card and we throw it inside the box. So what does this mean for us? It means that we are improving the way we think by becoming mindful about what we are saying to ourselves, what kind of words are we using, what kind of things are we focusing on. And we toss those things into that inactive box forever. That's it. It's done. And so what does that mean? It means that you need to have self-discipline. Self-discipline. First, you have to have the mindfulness to know what you're thinking. So you have to observe your thoughts. Secondly, you have to have the awareness of which thoughts are helpful and which thoughts are not helpful. And third, you have to have the discipline to put those thoughts in the box and never go there again. Because if you go there again, then it's not an inactive box. Those are not your inactive files, right? So it's like, police have inactive case files. Those are files that are there, but we are not going to access them. I have so many files stored on my hard drive that I don't access anymore. For a lot of them, I don't even know that they're there. And so that is the trick. It needs those three conditions. So what are those three conditions? Let's get into it. First of all, you have to be mindful. Mindful means paying attention to what is going on in your head. No one can do this for you. You have to make a commitment to yourself, and then you have to have the discipline to exert that commitment, to stay true to it. And I can tell you that the way I did that was to tell myself that my life depends on it. Zara, you have to do this because your life depends on it. If you can't fix your self-talk, your life is not going to change. And my desire for a better life was so huge that I was willing to do whatever it takes. So I decided I'm not going to be a lazy thinker. That is a term that Abraham uses for those people who don't pay attention to what they're thinking. So I told myself, I made a commitment, I'm not going to be a lazy thinker. I'm going to pay attention to my thoughts. And I did. So that one element is in your control, my friends, because I cannot teach you to be mindful. I would have to be there with you every minute of every single day in order to sort of give you a knock on the head, really, every time I hear you thinking a thought that's not conducive to you. And so that's something you need to do for yourself. Ask yourself this question. A lot of people in my programs, they ask themselves the question, in this situation, what would Zara tell us? And I can tell you that I used to ask myself that same question long ago. What would Abraham say? Here I am, I'm thinking about this thing. What would Abraham tell me to say? And when you start doing that, you will be surprised that the answers will come. So that's the first thing. Now, The second thing is you've got to have the awareness to know which thoughts don't actually help you. I find that the biggest problem out there with people who want to learn how to use law of attraction is the fact that they don't know the difference between a thought that is helpful and a thought that is not helpful. So here are 3 types of thoughts that it would be helpful to eliminate them. First, any thought of judgment, judging someone else or yourself. Because you know what? Don't judge yourself either. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I'm such a horrible person. Don't do that. Or same thing with other people. That is a horrible person. They shouldn't be behaving that way. No, we don't do that. We don't do that, because any type of judgment, whether for someone else or for ourselves, will take us right down the emotional scale. So that's the first type of thought you need to eliminate. The second type of thought that you need to eliminate is a thought that limits you in any way. Any thought that limits you, limits what you can accomplish, puts a limit on your ability to love, your ability to think, your ability to physically accomplish things. Those thoughts have to go in the inactive box, because you are not limited in any way. None of us are. We have access to the resources of the universe. We are not limited in any way. And number 3 is any thought of dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Things are not happening fast enough. The right things are not happening. How is it ever going to happen? The universe is not responding to me. I don't know why the universe is not responding to me. Those thoughts of dissatisfaction, they have to go into that inactive box, because thoughts of dissatisfaction slow us down. Remember what Abraham says. The best way to move forward is from a place of satisfaction. I am satisfied where I am and eager for more. Satisfied. Satisfied where I am and eager for more. All right. So what does this, when you eliminate these 3 types of talk from your mind and you put them in the inactive box and you close the lid and you file it away, what does that do? Well, it brings you back to unconditional love. Unconditional. Being unconditional means not being affected by anyone else and not being affected because things are not going the way you want them to. Yes, things are not going the way you want them to. Sure, that might be your current reality, but that doesn't mean it's not going to change, and your being unhappy about it will keep it from changing. So we don't do that. In the end, when we take these 3 types of thoughts and we put them in the inactive box, we restore love. Love for ourselves, love for other people, love for life, love for the universe. And that love is the most important thing in the entire world. When we do that, when we restore love and we put these, I'm going to call them unhappy thoughts because they're all low on the emotional scale. When we put these 3 types of unhappy thoughts into the inactive box, what that does is that it signifies trust. Universe, I'm not going to bother about these things that have been on my mind, that are creating anxiety and worry inside me. Why? I'm going to put them in the inactive box because I'm going to deactivate them, because universe, I'm handing those subjects over to you. I am giving you these subjects to look after for me. And as far as I'm concerned, they no longer exist in my life. So folks, that is the process of the inactive box. For people who are visual, the visual of having a box in which you put those thoughts that are no longer conducive to your joy is very satisfying. And for those people who are auditory, for auditory people, writing down a thought and then sticking it into that box is really powerful. Because you see, based on our learning modalities, whether we are auditory, visual, or kinesthetic, different things work. And the beauty of this inactive box process is that it helps visual people, it helps auditory people, and the whole process, the touchy-feely process of actually putting a note into the box also satisfies the kinesthetic people among us. And so it is a process that helps everyone across the board. I love this process. So I hope that this adds to your curiosity about the inactive box process, and it helps you to use the teachings of Abraham successfully in your life in order to improve where you are and where you are headed. All right, folks, that's all I have for you just now. Take care. I hope that you will visit my channel again. So bye for now.